So as you can see, tonight's a mix of stories that touch your heart and stories that make you laugh. And this next one, I think, is going to be a combination of both. Melanie Zoey Weinstein is an actor, writer, and nice Jewish girl from New Jersey with a strong passion for karaoke and 80s movies, good taste. She's also that girl who wore an Israeli flag in the Riverside Park volleyball court for a beach photo shoot that landed her first play, Sex in the Holy Land, on the front page of the Jerusalem Post. And yes, it sold out. Please welcome Melanie.
My story's called Escape from Torah Camp. I was about to graduate college and I knew a few things to be true. One, I had a BA in theater arts and creative writing. Two, I had no plans because I was too busy graduating college magna cum laude. And three, that didn't matter because I was broke. And four, because of that, I was going to go home to live with my parents in New Jersey. To make matters worse, my mother was always rubbing my brokenness in my face, and I felt doomed to live under her icy yet smothering rain forever. I already had a reputation for making terrible decisions. This didn't help my intense fear of adult responsibility and left me with a lot to prove. So when the Rebbitzin, the rabbi's wife of my college's Chabad, offered to send me to a summer of Jewish learning, it sounded like a pretty sweet deal. For those of you who don't know, Chabad is a Hasidic missionary movement known for their Jewish programming worldwide. On my campus, Chabad is where frat boys went on Friday nights for Shabbos dinner to pregame, and I went to indulge in two of my favorite pastimes ever. One, eating challah, and two, singing Jewish songs while banging on tables. So, this summer of Jewish learning seemed like the perfect way to make new friends, reignite my childhood joy for studying Torah and Talmud, and stall having to make any adult decisions. Oh, and they were going to pay me a stipend to learn. $1,000. 4 weeks later, and I'm waiting for a van at Newark Airport where I meet two of my fellow campers. So what brought you guys here? Well, I grew up Jewish, but wasn't really that into it, and then I went to school and I got really close with my rabbi and my Rebbitzin, and then Judaism started to mean a lot to me, so I'm really excited to become Lubavitch because it makes me really... I didn't hear anything after that. Becoming Lubavitch was not what I signed up for. It would mean observing Chabad traditions and laws, including not singing or dancing in front of men, keeping my elbows, knees, and collarbone covered in public. When I was married, I would have to wear a wig, and until I got married, I couldn't touch any boys. Chabad tradition did not exactly match up with my very real need to spontaneously skinny dip in oceans, perform karaoke publicly, and make out with whoever I want to, whenever I want to. I just thought that, I didn't say it, because we can all go with our own intentions, right? There was room for all of us there at Chabad camp. So we arrive at camp and I meet the rest of my group, 3 non-Jewish girls who are all excited to convert to Judaism, the Lubavitch way. Uneasy yet optimistic, I entered our first Torah class, excited to reignite my childhood passion for Jewish text. But we didn't open a book. Instead, we listened to the rabbi's ranting spiel. As modern Jews assimilate and intermarry, they are doing themselves a greater disservice than Hitler did when he murdered 6 million of us in the Holocaust. Modern Jews are worse than Hitler. As compelled as I was by the suggestion that my liberal lifestyle was the equivalent of my gassing myself in Auschwitz, I was starting to feel like my teachers had some sort of all day. Melanie, I bumped into Brenda in ShopRite, and she told me Chabad is a cult. So I Googled it. Did you know that it takes 40 days to brainwash somebody, and you are going to be there for exactly 40 days? Melanie, I want you to come home now. Mom, I am a magna cum laude graduate, and I need you to respect my adult decisions and let me make them for myself. Shabbat shalom, bye! I returned to my bunk to shower before Shabbat. And that's when the Rebbitsons entered my bunk to give us our washing bowls, to introduce us to taking on a daily custom of hand washing upon waking. Nagelwasser, I think. While the other girls excitedly asked questions about this tradition, I just stared at my bowl, not touching it. Do I take the bowl and pretend to play along? Or do I say how I feel at the risk of insulting my hosts and spend the rest of my summer an outsider here? Or even worse, do I take the bowl and let it become a gateway mitzvah, a gateway custom? No, said the voice inside me. My future life flashed before my eyes. First this bowl, the next I'm wearing different clothes, then I'm getting married to a husband, and then I'm covering my hair, and then I'm shaving my head, and then I'm pregnant, and then my family doesn't recognize me, and then I can kiss my career in acting and writing goodbye. No, said the voice inside me. No. What happened next remains unclear. I think that I packed. And I searched for someone who could take me to catch a bus before the sunset and Shabbat started, because the next thing I knew, I was sitting in a car with a rabbi, and he was looking at me with these wise, knowing eyes. What are you afraid of? I didn't give an answer because I didn't have one. But in psychoanalytical hindsight, I was afraid that practicing his way of Judaism could become so compelling that I would give up the core of my being in order to be like him. We approached the bus station in silence, only to discover that the last bus before Shabbos had already left. I was trapped. As we turned around, the rabbi said, "Are you relieved?" Again, I didn't answer because I didn't know how I felt. I was 22, and that was something that a cult leader would say. So I stayed for Shabbat, and I let go, and I had a lot of fun. I ate challah, and I sang Jewish songs, and I banged on them tables, and just for the night, I forgot that the rest of the girls there were there to become Lubavitch, and I was not. But the very next morning, I woke up with this mix of fear and nausea in my gut, this icky feeling that had been with me that had not gone away, and I didn't know why I couldn't stay for the rest of Shabbos, but this feeling in my gut said that I needed to leave now. So 36 hours after I arrived at Torah camp, while my new friends, and teachers were praying in services, I picked up my phone, I called a cab, I carried my bag outside, waving my credit card in order to pay for my ride out, violating at least 4 Sabbath laws all at once. I didn't say goodbye. I just left. And when I got into that cab, I finally did feel a sense of relief. I had made my first major post-college decision. It was unintentionally disrespectful to Chabad and very confusing for me. But I did it. And while I wasn't sure yet where I should belong, I had made a choice about where I didn't. So I was going to my childhood home, where my parents had welcomed me with open and loving arms, and decided that I could belong there for now.